Welcome to the Country Hipster Podcast. My name is Paul. I am the Country Hipster. That music you just heard was Dirty Knife by the Unholy Four from Charlottesville, Virginia. Check out the Unholy Four on Bandcamp and Spotify and Apple Music and wherever you can find the Unholy Four. Ottsville Record Garage podcast specific promo code BABY. All August, use BABY on checkout at OxvilleRecordGarage.com and you will get 15% off of your entire order. And if you watch the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you can find out how to get 16% off of, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode from a few weeks back.
If you watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV series from the late 90s, early 2000s, there will be a hidden message somewhere in there.
Yes.
It's like how The Simpsons predict the future. Yeah, exactly. Somehow Buffy the Vampire Slayer predicts podcasts.
That'd be pretty fucking great. But no, if you watch our Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode from a few weeks back, you will find out how to get 16% off of your entire order. But you've won 15% off BABY, B-A-B-Y, for all of August at OttsvilleRecordGarage.com. To my left is my brother and co-host, Adam. Say hello to Adam.
What's up, guys?
All right.
Hello, Adam.
How you doing, Adam?
I'm good.
Good.
I was driving up here and I realized that my throat was kind of hurting a little bit, but this delicious Lone Star
is fucking good, man.
Is helping.
I'll tell you what, one of the best things to come out of True Detective season 1 is this fucking beer.
The second best thing being that scene with what's-her-face.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Alexandra Daddario or whatever her name is.
I don't know, but I can't pronounce her name, and I also can't pronounce the name of the guitar strings that I use because it's the same thing.
Daddario.
Yeah.
No, it was.
You throw an apostrophe in there, it fucks me up.
Exactly. Yeah. How do you think I feel?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we are here to discuss our album of this week, which is brand new. The Devil and God Raging Inside Me. Adam, this is your first album of season 2.
Yes. Finally, we got to get to delve into my, as Megan would call it, my sad girl music.
Your sad girl music.
My sad girl music for season 2.
Yes, you are a sad girl. And if you want to know what Adam is talking about, friend of the podcast and avid listener and guest on our on a random record episode from season 1. Megan has some YouTube exclusive content for the Country Hipster Podcast where she does the Gen Z perspective of her feelings on our albums from season 1. So there's a bunch of those videos up on the Country Hipster Podcast YouTube channel in a playlist called the Gen Z perspective. Yeah. So go check it out. Megan does a really good job with that, and we're posting like 2 every week so far. It seems to be she's sending them to me and I'm getting them, and so usually Mondays or Tuesdays I post that. So subscribe to the Country Hipster Podcast on YouTube, and you can then see when I post the YouTube exclusive content that goes up on there. So yeah. So Brando, I just before you get into the factoids and if I'm jumping around too much, just tell me to shut the fuck up, you have no problem doing. So Brand New is the first band where you have selected them both season 1 and season 2.
Yes.
So we did Deja and Tendu
on season 1. Yeah. 1. So this is the album that directly precedes Deja and Tendu.
It's before it. I thought it was after.
After. Did I say precedes?
You said precedes.
I'm sorry. Yes. I meant.
I'm sorry. Someone here doesn't know how to read.
No,
and for once, it's not me.
I can read. I just don't know my tenses.
Don't know. Oh, okay. Like 10, 20, 30, 40.
Did you know you can only ran through a campsite?
What?
You can only ran through a campsite.
Why?
Because it's past tense. No? You don't get it?
No.
Ran is the past tense of I ran somewhere. You can only ran through a campsite because it's past tense. Play on words.
Tense.
Yeah,
but you said tense, not tense.
No, I said tense.
Yeah, maybe you might want to work on your Philly accent. Are you starting to get that Delco accent? Yeah. You start there and murder.
Do you
fucking dick?
Do you ever have sex while camping?
No.
It's fucking intense, man.
Oh, there you go. Wow. Actually, did I? No, I don't think I have. Come to think. Oh wait, yeah, I did once.
You know why I don't? Right. Do you know why I don't?
It was on your bed.
You know why I don't like light beer?
Why?
It's like having sex in a canoe.
What?
It's fucking close to water.
Oh God, Jesus Christ!
I got tons of them, folks.
Oh God,
tons of them.
Thank God I have the editing power.
Yes. Yeah. So So Dejan Tendu was brand new second studio release.
Okay.
And The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me is their third studio release. Not that Proceed was the wrong word. So yeah, it was a tough one. I was kind of going back and forth on it a little bit. There was some stuff that I wanted to add. The same band from season 1, just because honestly it's strictly just to broaden your horizons on things that you said you enjoyed.
Okay.
Like
I did enjoy Dejan
Tendu. I debated adding Mean Everything to Nothing, the second studio album by Manchester Orchestra, because you had said you had enjoyed Manchester. If I remember correctly, you didn't put Manchester Orchestra on your top 3 albums, but you did put The Neighborhood Is Bleeding on the Country Hipster playlist.
Yep, which is available on Spotify
and Apple
Music, and YouTube. You can just look up the Country Hipster playlist, and you can listen to our 10 favorite and 10 least favorite songs from season 1. No. So that was fun. That was fun to do that.
Yeah, so I toyed with the idea of adding some stuff that we had already covered on season 1, specifically because you said you had enjoyed it enough.
So now we did cover the Beastie Boys on season 1 and season 2 so far, but that wasn't. Neither one of us chose the Beastie Boys for this. It was the Beastie Boys for this season was a Tom episode, a Booze and Vinyl episode. That was our first Booze and Vinyl episode 3. So it's going to happen too. Like why not? If it's a good album, if you like the band,
I can only think of, at least off the top of my head, I can only think of one other instance. Two more.
There's 2 more that I can think of off the top of my head.
I have to look at
that'll be repeat artist from season 1.
I have to look at the list again because all that's coming to mind is one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Like I said, this is the third studio album by Brand New. It was released on November 21st, 2006. It was released. It has 3. Labels listed: Interscope, Tiny Evil, and Procrastinate Music Traders, which apparently Procrastinate Music Traders is a record label that was founded by the members of Brand New.
Okay.
The album was produced by the band Brand New and Mike Sapone, who has also produced things such as Front Bottoms, Sincere Engineer, Oso, who Paul and I have seen live together.
Mm-hmm. Disappointing.
Disappointing, but friend of the podcast, kind of. Envy on the Coast, Sorority Noise, Taking Back Sunday, which is a friend of the podcast, Mayday Parade, Straylight Run, and he even produced a Public Enemy album.
Okay. Which one does it say? Did you write that down?
I did not write down which one it was.
Right. It's not that important.
Yeah. So the album debuted at number 31 on the Billboard 200. Album sold 60,000 copies in its first week, and it peaked at number 5 on Billboard's digital album charts. Sorry, I can't read my own writing because I got close to the edge of the page. Now, I asked Paul before we were recorded if he could divulge to me if this was a 2014 repressing, which he said it is not. Apparently, because of the 2014 repress, that led to it peaking at number 10 on Billboard's vinyl album charts.
Okay. I guess what was it to this? Maybe they started doing vinyl charts in 2014 again, which is possible because that's like right around when like everybody was like, oh, vinyl's a big thing right now.
Yeah.
But like it's like, right. In 2014 they're like, oh yeah, no, this has been going pretty solid for a couple of years. Yeah, I had a fucking guy say that to me yesterday too.
What?
Like like I'm at a market doing a pop-up, right? And got all the records there, and this older guy walks up to me, he's like, man, got a lot of records here. I'm like, yeah,
that's what I do.
Online record store, selling records, And he leans in and goes, all the kids are collecting these today.
You're like, you don't say,
sir. I was
sir.
like, really? Wow, that's basically. I was like, yeah.
Oh, the kids are going down to their local soda jerk.
Yeah, exactly.
And getting some root beer barrels.
Yeah, I was like, they're
putting on their vinyl records and they're playing their jacks.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're chasing wheels down the fucking road with a stick.
It's just so fucking annoying. It's just like, come on, dude. Like, no, and it's still not as much as like the whole like there's a lot of money in those records. I'm like,
not as much as you
think. But
got a lot of Elvis records. Sweet, good for you, man.
Yep. So, but I'm sorry. Go on.
On the topic of Elvis records, it just made me think. My daughter, friend of the podcast, Haley.
What's up, Haley?
Asked if they ever press things to records that aren't music. And I was like, yeah, your Uncle Paul's got some super valuable JFK speech records laying around.
Great.
Where was I? Billboard vinyl chart,
Yep.
vinyl album chart. Album became certified gold in 2022. So
500,000.
Yeah, so 500,000, and what is that? 16 years after it was released was certified gold.
Which is kind of funny because I thought I read that like when this album was released, it sold like 60,000 copies in the first week.
Yeah, as one of the factoids I just said.
Yeah. So, but it took that long for it to actually go gold, which is kind of crazy.
I also wonder if that had to do with the fact that like this was coming out still. This album came out in 2006, which I feel like was still in the prime of like pirating music. Like this was still like maybe like Napster was long and dead, but like I was like people
Limelight or
LimeWire.
Yeah, LimeWire, that's what it was. Yeah.
I think at this point I had progressed to uTorrent.
Oh.
And literally was just downloading like entire catalogs of bands.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like I downloaded like the entirety of like I think I downloaded like the entire catalog of like the White Stripes in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all had time to waste, I guess, back in the day, huh?
Yeah. And it surprised me as well that the album wasn't certified gold until 2022, because this was Brand New's like this was their most critically acclaimed album. I think what I read was it was the most critically acclaimed until Science Fiction, which came out in 2017.
Right.
But I digress again. NME listed this as 74 on their list of the top 100 albums of the decade.
Okay.
And Sputnik Music listed it as number 20 on their top 100 albums of the decade.
Okay.
So yeah. Paul, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Are you looking for an album where you have to turn the song up because it's really, really quiet and then you blow your speakers out when they throw it up to 11?
No.
No? Oh, so this isn't the album for you.
No, it's not. It's not.
So obviously I picked this album because I'm a fan of it. Like I said in last season, I'm a fan of Brand New. This was kind of like the Brand New and Taking Back Sunday were kind of like the soundtrack of my high school years.
Yeah, but they're also, they're basically also like the professional wrestling bands of your era as well, because of like the whole which I always thought was pretty stupid.
I sent Zach a thing the other day where it was something about it was a Hard Times News about Lin-Manuel Miranda writing a Broadway musical about the Taking Back Sunday Brand New beef, and he's like that would be awesome. I'm like, no, fuck it wouldn't be. I'm like, dude, that would be fucking terrible.
Yeah, it'd be absolutely terrible. But this is also the asshole who didn't know that Jack Black was.
Yeah, it's true. He did not know Jack Black.
Oh, speaking of who is that on your shirt?
Oh, this is which where does this?
Lloyd Dobler, but it's John Cusack.
At what point of him being a serial killer?
This is pre serial killer. This is just when he's just a regular stalker. So this is the first of the John Cusack universe. The JCU.
This is the origin. This is the origin of the JCU.
The Lloyd Dobler from Say Anything was his beginnings before. It went on.
I'll say my beard's in the way, but as you see, it is John Cusack holding up the Spotify logo.
Yes.
When I bought this shirt,
which is pretty great. I actually kind of like that shirt. I might have to steal it from you.
When I bought this shirt from the Chive, it was listed like the name of the shirt was Stream Anything, which I always enjoyed.
Oh, that's pretty funny. That's good. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
All right, so Paul.
Tell
me your thoughts on you liked Dejan Tendu enough that you said you actually included a song off Dejan Tendu in your solo sets.
Yes. I keep trying
you attempt
to. I keep fucking up the bridge, and it's not working out well.
So tell me what you think of The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me.
Okay, so first of all, I overall like this album. Okay. I wish I could read my writing here. I
wish I could find the zipper for the cooler.
What the fuck? Oh, okay. So yeah, and I'm not jumping segments here when I say this because it's an instrumental and it's not going to count towards anything because instrumentals are fucking stupid when it comes to our top 3 and bottom 1. But I will say overall, like with the exception of Welcome to Bangkok, I think it's a really well written album.
Excuse me.
It's moody. It's the overall groove is it's like. Deja Entendu was that very like emo, almost pop punky type of album, whereas this is like it's dark, but it's like well thought out. It's a more moody album. Musically, the guitars are solid. I enjoy a lot of what they do throughout the whole fucking album. It's really cool. The riffs, the different things they do, the dissonance that the guitars are doing. Are there 2 guitars on this?
There are, yes. Okay, Jesse Lacey and Vinny. I can't remember his last name. Both play.
Yeah, and it's good, and it's really good. The bass and the drums are solid, and the vocals, even in the very few screamo parts in this. There was more background screamo on Deja Entendu than on this, but the parts that they do that on this album are done very tastefully and done with purpose and artistry, not just like that fucking Of Mice and Men bullshit where it's like all the time for no good fucking reason where you can't understand what they're saying. I don't mind dirty vocals if they're done well.
I like that can.
Yeah, it is a cool can. So what did you just switch to there?
I opened up a can of Shiner Black Lager. I haven't taken a sip yet, but it's only 4.9%, which is not bad.
No, not bad at all.
I don't think I've had a bad beer from Shiner.
Okay. There it is. I'm going with this. I'm trying to.
Oh, the prickly. That's gonna be my next go-to.
So before Adam came over,
the Black Lager solid as fuck.
Nice. I went and I got I was grabbing beer for the podcast. I picked up a 6-pack of Lone Star, and then I saw the Shiner variety pack. So we're drinking Shiner beer pretty much tonight.
Which is Shiner? It's Spätzle,
Spätzle. I don't know. Kristen, where are you? How do you say that? She's not helping.
Just FaceTime the resident female of the podcast.
Resident female and a rabbit rescuer and all things German. Kristen, we need your help. Where are you, Kristen, when we need you? Every drop of Shiner is brewed in Shiner, Texas. So this is
I don't know why, but I just started in my head. I started singing "Papa, Can You Hear Me?" But Kristen, can you hear me?
Oh, I was going Tommy.
Oh no, I was going. Shit, what's the name of the movie?
Yentl.
You went
Yentl, and I went Tommy. Yeah, there you go. But no, I'm about to try it. It's the Shiner Prickly Pear. It's brewed with prickly pear fruit and natural flavor added, which I think means that it is beaver buttocks that is added for natural flavoring. So we'll see. We'll see how the prickly pear is as I open this guy up. Oh man, smell that. That's pretty neat. It's got a nice odor to it.
I think along with my throat being a little shitty, I think my nose has been kind of.
Do you have COVID, dude? Did you bring COVID into this house, you fucking dickhead?
I do not have COVID. I think what the issue is that
that's not good.
No. Last night, no. I think last night, every once in a while, I'll when you sleep with your mouth open, and you wake up and your fucking throat hurts the rest of the day. I think I did that because.
Sir, that's called sleep apnea. You have sleep apnea.
Probably.
So you're probably going to die in your sleep. I only know because I also have sleep apnea.
Only the good die young.
Yeah, no. This is I'm going to leave that for you. It's not very good. I'm not big on the prickly pear. I actually love just about everything pear. So I was very like that. It's I'll be honest with you. The prickly pear is what put me over the top to buy this variety pack.
Oh, it's upsetting.
So no, it is upsetting. But I've had other Shiner beers, so I'm looking. I think it's going to be okay. It's just it's like one of those things where like, oh yeah, that sounds like it'd be really fucking good. So that's why I got it. It's really nice.
And now I'm gonna go on the record right now and say I'm also very excited to try that.
Okay, all right. This is the Orale.
I've been rewatching Sons of Anarchy in the later seasons. Jimmy Smits is on.
Okay.
And he plays like a Hispanic gangbanger type. Mm-hmm. And they say orale. I don't know what the fuck it means.
Orale.
It's kind of like a greeting. I think they always use it as.
It's a Mexican style.
I'm gonna Google it.
Cerveza.
Cerveza.
Okay, yeah. This is beer brewed with agave, and I believe that's how they make tequila too.
Yep.
Agave.
One of my favorite Mexican style beers was made by a company called Oculto. and they would age it in tequila barrels.
Now this is fucking delicious. This is good. It's a cool can too. It's got some cool, I guess, lions on it or whatever the hell they are. But this is good. This is very nice. It's a little bit different for like a Mexican beer that we usually drink. That I love, and you hate Mexican people. But this one's pretty good. So
Orale is a Mexican Spanish slang interjection that has many meanings and is also commonly used in the United States. It can be used as an exclamation to express approval or encouragement, to affirm something is impressive, to agree with a statement, or to indicate distress or surprise. For example, Orale, Holmes. This is Google saying this.
Oh, okay.
Orale, Holmes. It sparkles nice.
Nice. Okay.
The fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
But yeah, so.
But no, so short. Back to what we're here to talk about. Just short. I have more in-depth notes, but I don't want to get into those yet.
Yeah.
Overall, I do like the album.
Yeah.
I think it's a really well written album. I think it's the music on it is great, with the exception of the fucking Bangkok song. Yeah. It's just like, I could fucking do without it. And I think there's another instrumental on there as well that I could do without.
Untitled.
Yeah, it's just I don't really need that shit. Because they're not even like that interesting. Like that's the thing. If you're doing instrumental, make it interesting.
Yeah, see that's the thing. Like we'll talk about when we get to our top 3 and bottom 1, but neither of the instrumentals are my bottom.
Yeah, I didn't put either one in mind because I just ignore them. You know what I mean? Like.
No, see, I was wholeheartedly willing to include them.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah,
but I don't have. I have a song on this album that I don't like less than the instrumentals.
Okay, yeah, all right, but yeah, no, like, and that's the thing with the instrumentals. I think you can pull those off of this album, and you still have a pretty solid album. So I think it's like 14 tracks or something, like 12 tracks.
Yeah, it's a little under an hour long. Yeah, like this, so you take those two. I think
they're just unnecessary.
I think if you cut those two instrumentals, I think it brings the album down to like just under 50 minutes or something like that. So
but anyway, what are your overall thoughts on this album?
Like I said, I enjoy. I've always enjoyed this album since it came out. I sent it to Katai. It was an Instagram reel that I found one time. And it was probably the best way I've ever heard anyone describe the band Brand New. And it was a pretty Brand New is a pretty generic pop punk band that became a pretty interesting indie band.
Okay.
Which I think is a good way to describe their kind of progression. Because you listen to Your Favorite Weapon, it is very much a pop punk album. Dejan Tendu still has some of those pop punk elements, but tends to get a little bit more into like more of an artsier side than a pop punk album that does. This goes even more into that artsy side as you get further. Daisy gets even more into that. Daisy also has a lot of Daisy has a decent amount more screaming on it than their previous things do. Daisy was the album that directly followed this, if I'm not mistaken.
I will say this is that when I first tried putting this on earlier on in the week, I actually had a really hard time getting into it.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know if it was my mindset. I don't know if it was the album, but like I literally had to restart this album like 4 times before I could finally go, okay, all right, I got it now. You know what I mean? So it was definitely a hard starting album for me. If I didn't mention it already, I do like it better than Dejan Tendu.
You didn't say that. No.
Okay, no, I do, and I enjoyed Dejan Tendu. I do like this better than. I still have some points to like, to make about this album. But no, it once I got going, I was like, all right, cool, and it almost felt like, especially now that you map it out too, it almost felt like, especially now that I know it's their third album, not their second album. I thought this album at first impressions were like, oh, it's the sophomore jinx, because like, you know how like sometimes the second album is not as good as the first album because they, you record all the stuff and you put all the best shit on the first album and the second album. You already have it recorded, so you're going to throw out the second album real quick.
Yeah, I think you said it before. You've had all the time in the world leading up to that album to release your first album. And then people go, oh, that's really good. Give us another one in 6 months. And then you're like, fuck.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I thought this, like, just initial impressions. But again, I don't know if it was my mindset, or I don't know, maybe it was the album. I'm not really sure. I just know that it was really hard this was a hard start for me. And then once I got it going, and like once I hit that point, I'm like, okay, all right. You know, my opinion did change on it. And it wasn't even like, my initial opinion was like, this is bad. It wasn't. I wasn't
a slow burn.
Yeah, I wasn't as into it as first, and like I said, it was hard to get going. But once it got going, it was good.
No.
Yeah. So
it's interesting.
Yeah. So,
I'm trying to think. I've a little backstory of this album. I actually heard the majority of this album before it was released because there were
was it like some leak or something?
It was there was a bunch of demos that were leaked. Now a lot of the songs that were leaked in the demo form basically are on the album, but they're just like slightly different versions of it. For instance, Sowing Season, that's the first album, first song on the album. Sowing Season has that has that slow start and then comes in heavy on the yeah. In the demo versions, it literally just stays that kind of low mellow the entire time. Some other stuff I can't remember off the top of my head, but a lot of the stuff on this album a lot of the songs on this album were leaked as demo versions were leaked. I want to say like 2005, 2000.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, if you go on Apple Music, you can actually now they've just which when you use the term leaked, I call bullshit on a lot of it.
Yeah, I think it depends on what's actually leaked and what's like, hey, let's just put this out to see how people react to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like market research type of stuff.
So on Apple Music, they have leaked demos 2006, which was released in 2016. A lot of the stuff, there's only 2 songs on this that are actually still on this album. I remember when like the leaks first were coming out, I remember there being a lot more than just these 9 songs. The 2 that are on this album are Sowing Season, and Luca. I remember a lot more. Actually, one of my favorite brand new songs I think came out of those demos is I don't know how the fuck you pronounce it, but it's Coca-Cola spelled backwards.
Ah, neat.
But yeah,
that's how you pronounce it.
The Coca-Cola spelled backwards.
Spelled backwards. Actually, so the problem with me being dyslexic is I look at it, I'm like, they named the song Coca-Cola?
Yeah. Well, apparently from what I read, they wanted to name the song Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola was like, fuck no. So they were like, all right, fuck you guys.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But yeah.
Cool. All right. So can I kind of shit on your album now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not total shit.
That's what it's here for.
Yeah, it's not total.
And I'm sure I'll be able to. I'll have some shit to talk on it along the way. So
all right. So this album as a whole reminds me of the second side of Manchester Orchestra, Like a Virgin Losing a Child. Okay. Now, if you go back to that episode in season 1,
if I remember correctly, you said the second side is your least favorite of those two.
Exactly. So I really did like the first side, and was okay with the second side of that album. Whereas this album as a whole, the whole fucking album
sounds like
the second side of the Manchester Orchestra, which when you put it together as a whole, I love that. I love's a strong word. I really like that Manchester Orchestra album.
You might not marry it.
I wouldn't marry it, but
you date it for a couple months.
Yeah, well, I'll get into that too. But it's like, in a sense, like a lot of these songs, they mesh together, and they're similar in styles. I'd even go so far as to say they're probably similar keys. I don't think there's a whole lot of different keys per song, which can lead to a boring album.
Yeah.
I found that out in college. I didn't even realize like that was a thing. And like my brief stint in college, I was in a music theory class. Now, very, very cool teacher and whatnot, but he was talking about how he went to this orchestra performance, right? And the songs were great. It was awesome. Like it was, very well played, but he said he found it to be one of the most boring productions that he ever saw. And then and it kind of baffled him. He's like, I know these people. Like I know I know who the conductor is. I know the instrumentalist. I know these songs. What is it about it that bothered me about this show?
Everything's in C sharp.
Everything was in G. And it's what he said. He's like, then I realized every single song they played was in the same key.
At a certain point, your brain just becomes numb to it.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, this is just what it is. So I think that's kind of like part of, maybe that's why like I had a tough time getting into this at first too. Also, this album is somewhat like Cure-like, specifically Disintegration with their longer instrumental parts.
See, that's honestly, while listening to it, that's one of the reasons why I thought you would enjoy this album, because to me it does kind of sound very much like that.
Oh yeah, no,
that
absolutely,
disintegration. I would say almost in like a maybe less electronic synthesizer, but even in on the violator side.
I can feel that a little bit. Yeah. But no, and I don't mean that as a bad thing. I do like it. It's like it's got deep bass throughout. Very tom heavy drums throughout. Again, very tastefully done, very very artistic, very on purpose. It wasn't.
That's something else that I noticed while listening to this album was that from listening to their first album, Your Favorite Weapon, and then listening to Deja Entendu, and then listening to this, it seems like the rhythm section took a little bit more of a front burner on this.
Yeah, at least from the two albums.
Yeah, they went a little bit heavier on the drums. They went a little bit heavier on the bass. And they kind of toned the guitar down a little bit.
Yeah, but the guitars are all over this place, though. And very, very wet. Like I said, I really do musically. I love every decision they've made on this album.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It really is good. But this album, as you said, you might date it for a while. It's funny. I wrote it down. This album is like okay sex.
Okay.
It basically. I mean, like it's all right. Kind of got off. Felt good. Probably do it again, but not necessarily rushing back to
it's
repeat
like,
it. You know what I mean?
It's
just
like,
kind of like, okay, yeah, no,
it's cool. It's kind of like pizza. Like even if you're having bad pizza,
you're still having pizza.
You're still.
We've talked about this before because I've used that analogy before. I forget what album it was from season 1, and I said it's like okay sex. So that's not the first time I've gone into that, and I remember telling the story too about the only bad pizza I ever had was this place on 20th Street in Rittenhouse in Philly. But the place isn't there anymore. Thank God. It fucking shut down because our pizza was so fucking bad. No. The only time I had bad pizza, but otherwise, yes, it's a very
Speaking of, I don't know what happened to my algorithm on Instagram, but I've been getting a lot of the Barstool Sports One Bite pizza reviews.
That's a little weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like all of a sudden I just been getting like a fuck ton. I actually got one popped up that was Manco.
Okay. All right. There you go. I like your pizza.
Yeah.
I like your pizza.
If I remember correctly, he enjoyed it as well. And he also boasted about it. He's like, this is a huge fucking pie for $20.
Yeah. Biggest pie I ever had actually was in Charlottesville one time. I went down to Charlottesville. I was hanging out the weekend with Sean from the Unholy Four. And I forget where we were, but I think Unholy Four was playing. Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah, but like I can't.
Yeah, it's
But to me, it's not weird in a bad way. Like it's not like it's weird for you in a way where you're gonna hand it off to me. To me, it's weird in a way of like. It's just it's like okay sex.
We're talking about the prickly pear.
Sorry, we're talking about the Shiner prickly pear.
For people who don't have a visual here, we're talking about the Shiner prickly pear again. But yeah, no, I can see
it's not offensive.
No, it's not. I'm just like I'm disappointed by what it is because I was expecting it to be so much better. I just
it's kind of.
I'll let you drink the other one.
What's the percent? It's 4.9 as well.
It's not a big. None of these beers are super high. Like my Orale. Excuse me, is only 4.5%, so it's not. It's very drinkable.
Yeah, this is like it's kind of like weak. This is kind of the prickly pear is kind of weak sauce in my book.
Okay.
Like
like
it's fine to have one or two of, but like I'm not gonna. It's something I'm like, oh shit, we gotta get some of that prickly pear.
I think I was hoping it would be like kind of like Hell or High Watermelon-ish. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean with the pear flavor, and it's not, and it's just like
I can't remember. I think I told the story in the podcast before. I had a beer one time that was it was something with mango.
Okay.
And I took a sip of it. I'm like, this doesn't taste anything like mango at all. Why, like, there's no mango to this whatsoever. And then that's when I realized that my only exposure to mango was Rita's water ice, mango water ice.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, like, my only exposure to mango is, like, super artificial, heightened mango flavor.
Right.
Okay. So, for all I know, this beer tasted exactly like a mango.
Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't taste like mango water ice.
Right. Okay.
Which is kind of like what I would get from this. Like, I don't know what a prickly pear tastes like. I assume a prickly pear.
I know what a pear tastes like. I think that's a problem.
I have to
be more pear-like.
I have to assume that a prickly pear is delicious because why else would it grow prickles to protect itself? You know, evolution.
True. There you go.
So I have to imagine.
I'm prickly.
Exactly. Like stay the fuck away. Like I have to imagine a prickly pear. Baloo fucking sang about them. You know what I mean?
What?
Baloo from fucking Jungle Book.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He fucking sang. He was a fat son of a bitch, and he liked prickly pears.
He did like the prickly pears.
So I would assume they're delicious and like super flavorful, but I don't get a lot from this.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, it's just like yeah. So the album starts strong and just goes nowhere. Like I like this album to me is also it's like being on antidepressants. You're not down, you're not up.
I was gonna say
just are.
when you say goes nowhere.
Goes nowhere.
I do agree with you in the sense of I kind of look at this album as a plateau. The album, you start up here, like you get I get hooked instantly from that like just the opening line of yeah, and like that first yeah, like that where the heaviness comes in, and then it literally just stays on that track the whole time.
Yep.
Which it's not bad, but like you said, it's like, you know, listening to an orchestra play a bunch of songs in the key of G.
Right.
It's eventually your brain starts to get bored by it.
Yep.
So it's weird because like I said, I enjoy this album, but I wholeheartedly agree with you where this album is boring in a sense.
Yeah, it's like, you know, and for all of its goodness, it just is what it is. You know, it's good. It's not great. Mm-hmm. But it's also definitely not bad. Do you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like, you know, and you know, all that being said, like I do like it better than Deja Intendu. You know, and I think I probably like the overall style of this album. Mm-hmm. Just in general, like the way, you know, especially with some of the albums that I have really liked, such as like this album, Manchester Orchestra, as you mentioned, Disintegration and Violator, even Interpol. Is not far off from this style. I think still Turn on the Bright Lights has different depth to it. It's not the same. You know what I mean? But it's in that that wheelhouse. So that is why I did like it. I really, you know, I mean, like, you know, it's like a lot of stuff that I do like. So it's not, you know, I'm not disappointed by this album whatsoever. No. It's just like I said, it just kind of is. There's no ups and downs. There's no peaks and valleys. There's nothing like that. I think the instrumentals are pointless. And like I said, I think my, you know, part of the problem is I think a lot of these songs end up being in the same key or at least very similar keys. Yeah. And it just, you know, it does. It gets a little monotonous and a little boring. But there are so many great things about it. And I think even with that monotony and that boringness to it, I do think it's a very artistic album. I think it's very purposefully. The lyrics are good. I didn't delve really into the lyrics, but I think like I like all of the choices they made throughout the album. Yeah. So, you know, so that's where I am.
I've always enjoyed one of my favorite brand new lyrics is on this album where I've always enjoyed was what I can't remember. It's in Jesus Christ where he essentially says, you know, what did you do those 3 days you were dead?
Oh yeah.
Because this problem's gonna last more than the weekend.
Yeah. I did hear that earlier, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. That's a good line. That's a pretty good line. So yeah, that's cool.
Oh shit! I was just gonna say something. I can't fucking remember what I was gonna say.
Oh, it's probably
when you were talking about how the album's artistic and things are done deliberately and things like that. I'm all for that, but like certain things like we've talked about artistic for the sake of being artistic, or different for the sake of being different. Right. So there's certain things on this album that annoy me.
Okay.
One of which being the literal minute at the end of Limousine that's just feedback and noise. Sure. Was there an artistic reason for doing it? Yes. I'm sure there was. Would it be great if someone explained that to me so I don't have to listen, so I can appreciate while I'm listening to a minute of fucking feedback?
Fugazi does stuff like that. There's stuff where they do it, but it's not necessarily a minute long. Like they'll have the feedback.
Excuse me.
I want to say on one of the songs on Red Medicine, which is one of the Fugazi albums I really love, has a thing, probably like maybe like 15, 20 seconds of feedback, and they're fucking with it and clicking it, and you know what I mean, making it different tones. Even on you know, the Birmingham 6 last album, Move On, it actually starts with feedback, and the feedback goes, but the song kicks in and the feedback goes through like the first like 10 seconds of the song.
So while listening to Limousine on the way up here,
Uh,
I thought the only reason why you do that is so that you can close your set with Limousine, and then
just leave the
you
guitars out.
walk off the stage while the feedback's playing.
Yeah.
That minute of feedback plays, and then when the feedback ends, you come back on and do your encore. That's the only reason to me to put a minute of fucking feedback at the end of your song.
It might be exactly what they did. I never saw these fuckers live. And that's the thing. This album makes me not care if I see them live or not.
So
do you know what I mean?
I've seen them live before. I saw them live in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
They were on tour with Thrice.
Okay.
Yeah, Thrice was opening for them, and I saw them at the what it was the artist formerly known as the Electric Factory. So Me Without You opened for Thrice, and Zach has seen them a couple times live. Zach was actually at that show with me.
Okay.
And he said to me, when you see Brand New live, there's two different types of Brand New that you see. You see Brand New who plays the crowd pleasers, and then you see Brand New who does like 5-minute like weird instrumental things in between every song.
Okay.
And that's the Brand New that I saw.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly, they came back for their encore and played Untitled.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Like that. Like that's the thing. Like if they were, I would to go see these guys live, and it is actually more so based on this album.
Yeah.
And how it's just kind of like I said, I like the second side of Manchester Orchestra, but if I were to see Manchester Orchestra, I don't really want them to play anything off the second side, or maybe one song.
I've seen them live too.
Yeah. They're actually coming back to Philly really soon.
Yeah, they're coming in September for the 10th anniversary of one of their albums.
Yep. But like
September 11th, never forget.
There you go. Oh yeah, there you go. But this album just doesn't make me want to go back and like see them, or not go back, just go see them live. It doesn't. And, you know, and that it'd be like one of those things where it's like they might, if there's someone else I want to see who I'm not 100% sure that I want to see them or not, and they're also on it, that might put me over enough to say, okay, well, kill two birds with one stone. But if it's a headliner and I don't know who anybody else is, I'm not paying the money to see Brand New live.
From doing research, I completely forgot about a tour that was in 2016. Mm-hmm. They basically did like a 10th anniversary kind of thing where they played this album in its entirety.
Okay.
But they toured like going back and looking at that the ticket for that tour. It was Brand New headlining with Modern Baseball and the Front Bottoms opening.
Yeah, that's cool.
I thought I'm like. I almost had the same bit of, because I remember when that show was coming around and I went, I'm not, it was in a, I had I think that was right after my first son was born. My first son was born in 2014. So this is like a couple years after, so, we're still kind of trying to figure shit out and everything like that. And, so I didn't go to concerts for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, no, it happens.
And so that's like I think I talked about it on season 1 where we talked about Deja Entendu. One of my biggest regrets in life is that Brand New played an acoustic set at the Tower Records around the corner from my house, and I didn't go. Mm-hmm. Listening to this album, you said makes you like kind of not want to see them live. Yeah. Listening to this album makes me nostalgic for wishing I'd seen them live for Deja Entendu.
Okay.
Or wish I'd saw them live for Your Favorite Weapon.
I think that's fair. I think that's,
Don't get me wrong. When I saw them do this live, they were very good. Mm-hmm. They were really tight. They were really good. But like you said, this album's good. To me, it's a good album, but it's not a good, like, go stand in a fucking venue and listen to album. It's a good, like,
put it on and maybe smoke a doob and just chill out and you know what I mean, relax. Or it is almost that, or it's really, it's not a car ride album either. No. It's definitely not a car ride album. Like, it'll put you to fucking sleep sometimes. No. Certain songs, not the whole thing. Yeah, no, I'm just so if you guys are wondering, I am drinking the Shiner Light Blonde. I guess this is a blonde ale, I'm guessing, because most blondes are ales. So this is actually very delightful. It's only 99 calories.
It's actually a blonde porter.
That'd be kind of weird. That'd be really weird. It doesn't tell me this one. They all have the alcohol, the ABV on it, but this one, it's 4.2.
Yeah, so I think I just saw.
So it's pretty light there.
So Paul, we've gone over our feelings for the album. I'm making an active choice not to cover my mouth because I keep doing that.
Thank you.
We've talked about how we think about the album. What does that beautiful baby angel who spent the day exploring the Doylestown Castle think about this album?
She liked it. She did like it. She listened intently.
She had black eyeliner on when she was listening to it.
Yeah, she had black. Yeah. No, not a ton of singing. More, just like more like some like positive sounds, like in certain points. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was definitely it wasn't like a, oh my God, I like this album, not like the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where it's just like, I could turn this off midway through and I know you fucking love this musical theater shit. But it was definitely above indifferent, and that was obvious. So it's definitely a like, I wouldn't say like an overwhelming, like, she wants me to put it on again, but she did not hate that it was on, and it was, it was,
maybe if you want to sit back with Regina and, light one up, maybe she would like you to put it on.
She might, So what are your top 3 songs?
Top 3. I had a little bit of a hard time with this because
so did I.
I really love Sewing Season.
Mm-hmm.
I really love Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ was actually the first song where I realized that I could play stuff on drums.
Okay.
It's not a very difficult drum beat. So I don't have either of those two on my top 5.
Okay. Well, so top 5?
I'm in top 3. I'm sorry.
Well, so that's the thing too. When you say that, it's like not necessarily a very hard drum thing to play. That's one of the things I do like about the drums. Is the drums are very simplified on this album.
Yeah.
And sometimes simple is the way to go.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like the drums on this album are really perfect for all these songs.
Yeah.
Like they're really, like you don't need everything on this album is done exactly what is needed to make the songs good.
Yeah.
And then no extra filler, no extra bullshit to kind of take them over the top or make them like razzle dazzle spectacular bullshit.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that about this album. So, but anyway, I digress. Go
on. So I'm going to go for my top 3, Millstone.
Okay.
DeGosser.
Mm-hmm.
And it's listed on iTunes as Archers, but I've always known this song, and if you look it up on Wikipedia, it's listed as The Archers' Bows Are Broken.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
So whatever you want to call it, Archers or The Archers' Bows have broken. Those are my top 3.
Okay, so it's funny. So this album, and this also shows you how much I actually dug this album. I have.
Do you have an honorable mention?
I have. So
Jesus.
I have a.
That's like almost as good as Interpol. We're like, I love every song.
It's actually not that far off.
I'm gonna fuck this album.
I am actually going to mention 6 songs here.
Oh shit.
Yes. So that tells you like how like even though like I said I guess somewhat negative things about it, I really do like this album. I really do like appreciate the album and what it is, and really got into this. So. Right off the top, Sewing Season's on there, my number 1. Yeah. Archers is my number 2, which is like really fucking perfect where they put it at the end. Because at that point, I'm almost like, all right, I want to go to sleep now. And then Archers comes, I'm like, there you go. But it still doesn't get to that.
I also love that opening line of Archers of who do you carry the torch for, my young men? Do you believe anything, or do you carry it around just to burn things down?
Okay,
I like that line.
I didn't look at that much. So. Number 3, I actually have a tie for number 3.
Okay.
And that is what do you say? Degracer?
Degosser.
Degosser.
Yeah, whatever the fuck it is.
And then also Not the Sun.
Degreaser.
Yeah, Degreaser, yeah. and Not the Sun.
Okay.
And I had to go back. I went back like individual like song by song to say and at first Not the Sun it wasn't on like my top 3 or an honorable mention, but as I went through, I heard it again. I'm like, oh no, fuck! I really like that guitar part. I like the music, and so it was more like a music thing. It was like, oh no, it's got to be on there. It's got to be on there. But I also didn't want to take DeGosser off, especially like the chorus where you have like the gang chorus, which sounds like there's kids singing.
Yeah, like it's almost like a choir. Yeah.
And it's good.
In fact, I remember I was listening to it today on the way up here, and I remember that was one of my initial. Things that caught me from this album was listening to it, and I remember saying to Zach, oh, I really like that fucking song with like the choir behind it.
Yep. So, and that caught me too. So there you go. So then I have 2 honorable mentions.
There you go.
So on a 12 track album, half of it I'm like listing as good stuff. And my 2 honorable mentions are what is it? Millstone. Thank you. I couldn't read my writing.
Yeah.
Millstone and Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So they ended up being honorable mentions on there. I actually originally had not the Sun as like a 3rd honorable mention. I'm like, no, that's more than an honorable mention. That song is like better than an honorable mention. So that's why I had to like, but I didn't want to take the Gosser off. You know what I mean? Like Sowing Seasons and Archers right off the bat, I was like, nope, these are good these are definitely, these are my top 2 on the album. And then it was like a lot of things that would have like gone for 3.
Remind me to send you a video later. There's a video of what's the fucking lead singer's name of Gaslight Anthem?
Brian Fallon.
There's a video of Brian Fallon doing a live acoustic version of by
Brian Fallon.
Brian, is he dead?
No, I just want to fuck with you because you never know when people, you don't know what to do.
He's not dead. He's touring. I follow him on Instagram.
Well, it's like you're so like behind on shit. I just figured I'd throw you one in there.
Orle.
Yeah, Orle's pretty good, right?
But yeah, there's a good video of him. It's funny actually. He says something about it. He talks about it. He's covering a brand new song. So he's like, so if you don't like the song, it's not my fault. It's that fucking guy's fault. Like,
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. I will say right off the bat, my least favorite is Limousine.
The longest one on the album. It's like it's coming in. It's like almost like 8 minutes long.
That's the thing. It's like it's really not that bad of a song, but probably 3 to 4 minutes too long.
Yeah, you know? At least a minute too long with all the fucking feedback at the end of it.
Yep.
I'm super interested by and I'm also not surprised that you included it in your top because of the musicality of it. But my bottom is Not the Sun.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know.
Musically, I like that song because musically it's the dum 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 dum.
Yeah.
And it's fucking good.
Yeah.
But lyrically, it just kind of fucking, to me, it doesn't fit with the tone of the album.
So I didn't get into the lyrics of this album. You know, number one, we don't really have enough time. Number two, I really wasn't getting into it. But I like his singing on it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I wasn't necessarily listening to the content of the words he was saying.
Yeah.
But it fit. Everything about that song really kind of like works and fits for me personally. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was definitely, you know, not to like fucking put myself in brand new, but that particular song was reminiscent of old Disunion shit that me and Sean used to do. Like of all the songs, that was one I'm like, yeah, no, I could have. And it's funny because I could have written that song, but like I've written similar songs to that I really enjoyed. So that's why it kind of jumped out at me.
And I've kind of started looking at especially albums of mine. Like I've kind of listened to them in the sense of like, what's going to catch Paul's ear? And when Not the Sun came on, I'm like, he's gonna fucking go instantly for the I can just from just that dum 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 dum.
Yeah, man, no, it's a good song. Yeah, that's why like when I went through, and that's what I try to do when I'm not like especially when it's not one of my albums. Mm-hmm. If it's one of your albums that I am familiar with, it's much easier to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like if it's because that's happened a few times on season 1. I don't think it's really gonna happen on season 2, except for a few maybe. Yeah. But like if it's
I got the JFK record.
Yeah, you have the JFK record.
That'd be such a ballsy move.
Yeah, right. I'd fucking kill you. But like but it is a rare record. You don't
it's super rare. Yeah, super rare.
Guys, one day I will tell you that story, but not today. Which is like you're probably like, this is a podcast. You're supposed to tell stories. What the fuck? I'm not telling the story today. I'm not ready to tell it. I'll tell it when I'm ready. My podcast. I'm on a sticker. Anyway,
my buddy that I work with, Caleb, who started listening to the podcast, he brought up the logo. Caleb. He brought up the album and he's like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, that is the person who sings the theme music's rendition of My Brother. And he's like, oh, okay.
Wait, of what?
The sticker.
Oh, the sticker.
The logo. He saw the logo. He's like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, it's my brother's friend likes to draw pictures of him apparently, and that's the.
Yeah. Well, that's why I told him. That's why I told Sean to do. I was like, you know those stick figures you've always drawn of me throughout the years, and it's pretty crazy because they're so fucking accurate.
Yeah,
you know, especially like back in the day when he would do it. Like I'm sure I have one of his old doodles around here somewhere. Yeah. When like I had my goatee and shit like that, dude. It is so fucking like hilarious, like how like on these little fucking dudes.
I mean, fuck, like that's
pretty
really fucking spot on. Like,
really
I know,
it,
but like I can, so fuck them.
The logo at the beginning of the episodes, if you're watching on video, actually shows what our logo is and shows the sticker. But yeah, it's pretty fucking accurate what he does there.
Or if you come out to the Ottsville Record Garage pop-up shops, you could possibly get a sticker from. Actually,
follow Ottsville Record Garage on social media, and you'll find out all about our pop-up records.
Oh no, you changed the Ottsville Record Garage logo.
I changed the Ottsville Record Garage.
Yeah, because it was the record player. Now it's the star. That's right.
Yeah, it's much cooler.
I was gonna say, oh wait, no, you changed the logo, but I'm losing my mind.
Yep, it's all good.
So you haven't gotten to what's your least favorite?
I said it. Limousine.
Oh fuck, you did say that. I'm sorry because
you didn't tell me yours. Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind because I said it's the longest song on the album.
There you go. Yeah. No, it's just Limousine. It's just
Yeah.
And it's not bad. I think honestly, if it was 3 to 4 minutes shorter, I might have been putting one of the instrumentals as my least favorite.
Yeah,
So,
I thought about it.
Another one that could have been a dishonorable mention, but I didn't.
If I
didn't dislike it enough to even make.
If I was going to put an instrumental as my least favorite, I would go "Welcome to Bangkok" over Untitled.
Okay.
Mainly because like "Welcome to Bangkok" really leans hard into that. Hey, this song's really quiet, so turn your speaker up and then blow it the fuck out.
There? Okay.
Because it starts off like acoustic and then it turns fucking heavy.
Okay.
Which, if I remember correctly, I saw them play it live, and he had to use one of those. It was the first time I ever saw one of those fucking stands that holds an acoustic guitar, so you could like play it and then switch to an electric.
Yeah. I think they're fucking stupid.
Yeah. I've also seen Yngwie Malmsteen use one. He did
that doesn't surprise me.
He put a thing out. It was him. He wrote a gigantic fucking concerto.
Yeah.
But basically, for like the Japanese Philharmonic plays this thing for him to essentially just sweep pick over.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see it. Yeah. I hate that shit.
Because he's Yngwie Malmsteen. He's got a fucking pirate shirt.
Grab your record there, sir. Oh, I can't reach it. So, come on. All right. So, okay. First of all, I want you to just take one of the albums out, so we can verify that you have a black vinyl copy of this. And the reason I'll tell you why I'm getting into this. Why I'm having you verify that it's a 2-disc black vinyl.
I've never noticed that before. That little cutout.
What's that? Oh, on the sleeve.
Yeah, cutout on the sleeve.
Yeah, on the inner sleeve.
Yes, we have 2 black vinyls.
Okay, so what you have here is a 2013 180-gram reissue on black vinyl. This is actually a music on vinyl release, so which I saw on the back there, which I thought it was pretty cool. I'm like, oh, Adam's got a music on vinyl.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That kind of surprised me. So for people who don't know, Music on Vinyl is a company out of the Netherlands who does a lot of reissues of albums, and usually what they'll do, they'll do them on 108 grams. Sometimes they remaster them, sometimes they do not. But this is a black vinyl, so this is a reissue. So what they'll do is they'll get it first, and they'll usually release it on a limited edition, numbered sleeve, colored vinyl of some sort. And then a few months later, they'll do the 180-gram reissue on black vinyl. Still really good quality pressing, really good quality thing. So you got the reissue. So, and I'm kind of glad you did.
Because I'm sure it's a lot cheaper than the other reissue.
Well, here's what we're going to get into. First, I'm just going to tell you your Discogs value on this one for a Very Good Plus, which was pretty amazing because there is no rounding on this. When I put it in on Discogs and put in Very Good Plus quality, it came out of a flat $30.
Oh wow!
So we don't have to round up or anything like that. Your value is $30. So your first
crazy.
album is $30.
Flat $30, so it rounds up to $606.
Yeah, right. So no, it's $30. Now, if you had, I didn't realize this, and this is the kind of things kind of interesting because music on vinyl doesn't usually do this, especially not so close together. There's actually 2 colored versions of this out there. Technically, one's not a color. If you had the
clear.
If you had the clear vinyl version, your Very Good Plus value would have been $51. Okay, which is respectable.
It's respectable, yeah.
$30 isn't bad for this either. Now, if you had the red vinyl version, $146 of a very good plus value. Now I don't usually get into those like other versions. It was just it was just very interesting.
Still not Buffy money.
Still not Buffy money. Yeah. But it would, if you had the red, it would have been like,
it would have been like, okay, so he's got a shot.
Exactly. Now you're losing like that, you know.
Yeah, now it's like, oh, he's got no fucking hope.
Yeah, like
I gotta pray for another fucking steel
train. Your big D just shriveled up to this little thing.
Yeah.
But now
fucking Steel Train's back on season 2. Steel Train Part 2.
Fuck that. So what that brings our running totals of me, Paul, in the lead at $253 on 2 albums. Thank you, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, fuck.
The listeners have 2 albums at $116. Is their total right now. Tom is at $57 for his Booze and Vinyl records, and then Adam is now joining the fight at $30. He's bringing in the back,
bringing up the rear.
Yes, that's what I hear you like. Ty told me.
Yeah, man.
Yep. So what is next? What is next? Do the listeners get another one? Is it another Booze and Vinyl? Do you get your second? Are you going to like make a splash here? Hold on. You got to grab Michael Stripe and the box of mics so we can figure out what's up.
Snoop's in the way.
Snoop's in the way.
Because I haven't had a record yet.
So. I know, right? I know. Thank you, Snoop. Snoop's he's good.
I thought Snoop was going to fall.
Yep.
I don't remember who picked last time.
Oh, you can pick it. You can pick it. I think I picked. I forget too. It's been a little while. What's up, Michael Stripe?
Michael Stripe.
How you doing, Michael Stripe? Michael Stripe says hello, baby. Michael Stripe. Oh, you know what I did pick because you weren't here last week because it was fucking REM. Michael Stripe is very pissed off at you. Adam, you didn't really listen to the album, you fucking dick.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God.
Oh, look at that.
Lucky number lucky number 13.
There you go.
One day
we won't screw things up here on the Country Hipster Podcast.
Michael Stripe. The fact that his one eye
it's pretty crazy.
Up.
Yeah, I know. We should probably I think it was Kristen who suggested we get like googly eyes for him.
Oh yeah, probably.
You know what I mean? So
all right, so it looks like a white one. So that could be anybody's.
Well, they're all white, dude. Like what are you talking about?
Could be anybody's party here.
Yes.
So we have we have another listener.
Oh, okay, so
the listeners
get their third.
Listeners are currently in second place.
They are. All
right, so listeners might take the lead on this one. We have a listener submitted by none other than the frontman of the Unholy Four.
Oh shit! I know what this is.
We have we have a listener submit from our good friend of the podcast, Sean. It's been on 2 episodes. Fugazi.
He was on Fugazi, and then he
had a random record.
Yep.
But Sean suggested we listen to Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast.
There you go.
So there you go.
That's going to be interesting.
Honestly, like if it wasn't going to be an envelope 666, I feel like envelope 13 is pretty good for Number of the Beast. Yeah.
So all right. So early on in season 1, Sean, we actually had already opened it up for listener requests.
Added to
Sean was like, put it over here. Sean was like, oh, you should do Iron Maiden. And I was like, cool, we're taking listener requests for season 2. What Iron Maiden album would you like? And he's like, oh, you should do either Somewhere in Time or Number of the Beast. And I was like, dude, fucking pick one. And he's like, Number of the Beast. So I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. There we go. We're doing Number of the Beast. Now, I'm hoping, and I think we should be able to. I think Sean might actually be in town when we film this next week. So
I feel like I've seen Sean like once or twice in the past like 10 fucking years. And every time when I was younger, being around like you and Sean, I felt like I was hanging out with the cool kids, which is nothing further from the fucking truth.
We are the fucking cool kids. What are you talking about? I'm fucking cool. Look at me. I'm fucking.
So if
Sean
can make it, then he lives in a different fucking state.
He does.
If Sean can make it, I will definitely make a very conscious. I do have the boys next weekend.
Okay.
But I'll make a very conscious effort to be here.
Cool.
If Sean can make it from a different fucking state.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And I think it's funny with we do to set up our guests. We do send out the list of the records that we're planning on doing. And there was actually a huge kind of like people were like, oh, I want to do that album. I want to do that album. So we have a couple different possibilities for special guests with this too, even if Sean can't make it, but hopefully he can. And then maybe we'll have another guest or two on it as well. So hopefully. We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to this album. So this is an album that, I'm not huge on metal, but there is certain metal that I definitely like and respect. I think Iron Maiden falls into that category. So no, I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to listening to it. I'm also more interested in what the Regina factor will be on this, to be honest with you. Because she got anxious, like literally like visibly anxious on the Of Mice and Men. Now that's a whole bunch of different bullshit that's really not good. It's not like the same thing. So I am kind of interested to see how she reacts to Number of the Beast as well.
Yeah,
so,
I'm super excited just because I think when Katai and I we went on our first date, I think she was wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt.
Okay.
She's always listed Iron. I think I talked about it on the pilot episode. She's always listed Slayer and Iron Maiden in her like top 3, top 5 bands of all time. So
right. There you go.
I'm excited.
There you go. All right, so cool. So we're gonna do Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, brand new, the devil and blah 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 fighting inside me, whatever. Pretty good album.
Devil and Bean Burrito.
The Devil and Bean Burrito. It's probably pretty accurate.
Fighting in my colon.
Yes, there you go. But yeah, decent album. I think it's gonna be.
I starred in a movie called Fighting in My Colon.
Did you?
It was a dark time. I had to pay my way through college.
Hey, whatever, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. So
$20 is $20. Hey,
yep. Adam, do you have anything else to say about brand new?
Same as I always say. Listen to the album. Just make sure you don't turn your volume up and blow your speakers out halfway through the song. And
which song?
All of them.
All of them. Okay.
Yeah, all of them basically. I think except for even Limousine. Yeah, listen to the album and form your own opinions and listen to it.
Can I make a request for season 3?
Yeah.
Can we not do another brand new album?
Yeah, we won't do. Yeah, we're not going to do another. No, we're not going to do another brand new. We're just going to do. I own 3 more Taking Back Sunday albums, so I'll probably put all 3 of those.
Oh
on.
God, I can't. Wait.
Oh, you know what? Actually, even better. I own the 10th anniversary live acoustic album of Tell All Your Friends.
Oh,
so we'll just do that.
Can I just puke now?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Actually, should for season 3, should we renew the brand new Taking Back Sunday?
We should.
Maybe we could try to get them both on.
Get them both
on.
Get
like parties from both band on. Like, all right, guys, come on, we gotta work this.
We gotta work it out.
We might reunite early 2000s emo in season 3.
Yeah.
That'll be the slogan of season 3.
Yeah.
Country Hipster Podcast reigniting early 2000s.
Reuniting and reigniting.
Oh God, no! Let's not do that.
No,
because I would fucking shoot myself unless they wanted to pay homage to me. We're like, oh, it's the Godfather of Philly emo. Like, yes,
you show up like you're just wearing a full fucking mink robe and a hat, and just fucking gigantic like the Hope Diamond on your fucking.
I'll be like, kiss it, kiss it.
So like it's a latex wedding band. You're like, kiss it anyway.
Oh man! All right, so we got nothing else.
No, man.
All right, then it is time to.
No!
Well, you got to give it a break now, so it works out. Right?
No.